Mrs. Rochel Fogelman and her husband have been shluchim in Worcester, Massachusetts since 1947.
I would speak, and I organized groups of not women that belonged to the yeshiva, women that were outside of the yeshiva, outside of the fringe of our sphere, and I spoke, and they always asked me to do book reviews. And whenever I did a book review, no matter what the book, I always brought in something about Yiddishkeit and used the book review as a vehicle to speak about Torah and Yiddishkeit and to draw them closer. We went in for Yechidus, and the Rebbe just greeted us so beautifully and so warmly. And my husband mentioned to the Rebbe that the following week I was going to speak at the temple, and I was going to do a book review on The Chosen, Chaim Potok. The Rebbe looked at me, and he looked at me in the way that only the Rebbe could look at someone, with a deep perception, with a knowledgeable, otherworldly perception. And he looked and he said, "Mevetzich zuhören zu dir." They're going to listen to you. And then the Rebbe said, "Speak about Taras HaMishpacha." Well, I was taken aback. I would love to speak about Taras HaMishpacha, but this book, The Chosen, is a book about boys, about the relationship of a son and his father. And I thought, how am I going to bring that and speak about Taras HaMishpacha? But the Rebbe said, speak about Taras HaMishpacha. There was no question. That's what I had to do. When I came to the temple that morning that I had to speak, we met in a room downstairs that the temple people used for their small minyanim, if someone had to say Kaddish or whatever. And the room soon filled up. It filled up so quickly that the chairman of the event, the chair lady, said, well, we'll go upstairs to the main sanctuary. Now, the main sanctuary in the temple is a very large room. It must hold about 1,000 people. It's huge. And pretty soon, the room began to fill up and fill up more and more until there was standing room in the back, and women were standing there. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. And I started out with a book by Chaim Potok. I described the scene, what it meant, and then I mentioned, did you notice that there are no women in this book? Did you notice that the father's wife is not mentioned? The son's mother is not brought to light? And there's no relationship between men and women. The reason there's no relationship in this book, because to touch upon it would require a book in itself. The relationship between men and women in Jewish life is holy and precious, and it is based on Taras HaMishpacha. And I went on from there, and I explained what Taras HaMishpacha was, what it meant to us, and why it was a flaw in the book, and a flaw in most Jewish lives, because people are unaware of it. The audience was electrified. People called me up, women called me up, where is the mikveh that you spoke of? There was an old mikveh on the east side that was used by very few women. It was in such a decrepit old building. So what we knew, we needed a new building, and this started a campaign for a new mikveh building. That was how it began, and ultimately we built a mikveh here in Worcester. We have to realize that koiches pnimium, inner strengths that the Eibishter gives us, is what the Rebbe sees in us all the time. And he strengthens us in such a way and directs us in such a way that those koiches pnimium are brought to a fruition, that they have positive and actual results in reality.